Hello everybody and welcome to game 2 of this series between two fantastic teams of the 8 that are left in the Ultimate Team Tournament 2. We have on the south side of Eindhoven country, having taken, what's the word to use, Sturmpanther? Having just lost a very long slugging game in game 1. Hooligan playing as the Soviets and Refero playing as the Brits.
And in the north side we have Protoss playing as the Wehrmacht and Artavik playing as the OKW. And we see the first change around already, because last time we had OKW facing right side versus Brits and Wehrmacht versus Soviets, and this time the Axis player turned around, so OKW is on the left facing the Soviets and Wehrmacht versus Brits on the right side. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for a number of reasons. I think one is because actually the Stern Pioneers are so good on the right-hand side at the start. They're great in the castle ruins at the start of the game, trying to push that fuel point. It's going to be harder for Brosras to do that, to be honest. Artavik, by the way, straight in with Overwatch Doctrine. And I think we know why, right? Because obviously we're going to want to see some artillery against the mortar pit that always takes position behind that house in the center.
And we see the first engagement, Sturm Pioneers. Nice using here the green cover, and so it has to stay on max range. They don't want to go close range versus that. Sadly no model drop yet on the Sturm Pioneers, so a lot of DPS comes.
They're actually doing surprisingly well. This is wasting a lot of time for allies to get on top of their munitions on the right hand side. Meanwhile, Brosras, by the way, has been aggressive with his Pioneers, and fortunately lost a lot of health, but not the actual models themselves. He's able to push away the Tommy Squad Universal Carrier. It's not going to be enough now that they've let the MG42 into this position of green cover there on the fuels. This is a great opening actually by Brosras, not expected that.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive play there from Wehrmacht versus Brits especially, and seems like he won every single engagement so far, and he's able to decap the first time the fuel.
That's not going to make any difference, Sturmpanther, because they've got their strategic point that's going to connect Axis to munitions and fuel on the right-hand side. So at the moment, there's actually less resources, I believe, coming in for Axis right now. They may have one more strategic point or something that's boosting them.
Yeah, it looks like that both Alice player ignoring the right side completely and says, okay, we double on the left side, forcing OKW player away, going for the both cutoff points on this map, which is working at the moment. The Fox India is facing Universal Carrier, Pioneers Conscript and Retreat are waiting some spots as well, but here comes the rescue, 2 Grenadiers and Sturm Pioneers moving in. So they are holding the left fuel connected for the Axis. Upgrade for the Universal Carriers there. So a lot of DPS now for Brits.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Very interesting early game. Interesting indeed. And Hooligan and Refero, we saw this in game 1. They have a real attention to the VPs at the start of the game. In the previous game, they did manage to get a triple cap right at the start, which took about 50 to 75 VPs off their opponent. And this time they are absolutely neck and neck in VPs. Artavik and Brosras, I think, maybe detected that and have played the outside edges of this map a lot better. By the way, Grenadiers here, they've got the Faust on the Universal Carrier. Second squad comes in, and updates to the Faust means that these should not miss now. Universal Carrier is down. That's a huge investment for Refero, just wiped at the start of this game. Refero left with hardly anything.
Yeah, this is a big win for Brosras. Not only the Universal Carrier, but also the munition span on the upgrade, and it's all what he has. So right now, he has to think about what he goes for next as Refero. Is he teching? Is he rebuilding it? But he teched already for AC. He's waiting right now for a little bit more fuel.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate in a way, because teching to AEC has just meant he hasn't been able to get that extra unit out on the field. I think he was banking on having, you know, both the AEC and the Universal Carrier together. What a shame, really, because now he's kind of like got to go for that AEC to get the AEC timing out as quick as he wanted it. He's left, of course, without any kind of close-range fighting units on the right-hand side, which is never ideal.
Nice play there here from Hooligan on the left side. I like it when people using the reinforce the merge from the conscript to the flamer pioneer Soviet squads to have still the DPS on the field. He's doing it again and again, and that's why he wins actually the fight, just because of the flamer pioneer.
Yeah, it's a really good move. This is exactly how Soviets are meant to be played. You're supposed to play the machine guns and the mortars in this way, where you can mobile reinforce through the merge ability. And there are more and more players using this competitively now. It's a beautiful feature.
And even if the loss of universal carrier, Raphael was able to get the completely right side at all. Fuel, munition points, victory points to it, but here comes the 2-2-2, but the counter's already on the field from Raphael. It's just on the other side right now, the AST, but he can easily switch around, go to the right side. So I'm surprised that Raphael is doing so well with Brits.
Yeah, we don't know how this is happening right now, having only had 3 units on the field at the start of the game and losing the universal carrier. AEC, by the way, is trying to be aggressive. It has spotted the Jaeger light infantry, so that's going to be pretty obvious to Refero what Artivik has chosen as a commander, and we'll see if that creates any changes.
First mine got laid down from the Soviet player on the left side. Yeah, we saw the last game as well. Actually, both teams laid a lot of mines, and it's always nice to have the security for flanks. And mortar pits.
Yeah, I saw that, Stern Panther. I was just going to leave it on camera and not say anything. We don't need to cast it anymore. It's in every single game. AEC's in a really strange decision here. Gets Fausted. The scout car is there, and also a Puma's just come on the field, but not sure if that's going to go over to the right-hand side of the map. Second Faust here does connect. The scout car's got to be able to deal with this, surely. There's no snares available from the Brits at the moment, unless the sappers want to come over.
Yeah, I think this should be safe. A Nate from the Brit player, actually. Could be a nice fit sometimes, like, you normally don't expect that Brits rushing nades, so if you don't expect it, you can get a nice fight there. Left side completely got flanked out from Artivik with a big push there. Forcing
wow, oh, by the way, Scout Car just manages to spot the AEC there, and the Puma comes in. It's good communication from Artivik and Brosras. AEC's going to go down. Refero has just had a really, really bad game so far. Lost a lot of key units. They're in a terrible position. You see Artivik now, he's just sweeping onto the strategic decap. And if the mortar pit goes down, I think Refero just... I mean, I can't even imagine what stamina you would need to stay in a game like this.
Yeah, it looks like that the last game, the 1 hour game, was so tough that he's probably exhausted right now. Because in the first game it was 60 minutes with 0 wipes at all, and now we have 4 wipes already. That's... yeah, sadly for the Allies, because they needed a win to stay in this cup. Because the first round is best of 3 only.
Well, let's not call the game just yet, because we've cast a lot of games in this tournament which have turned around surprisingly. But Refero has gone for a Royal Artillery Regiment. I can only guess that it's to get the Valentine out as quick as possible. You see Hooligan here, they're just trying to decap the Axis in every possible position they can. Hoping to try and maybe build those resources back up to get things back to an even place.
Also nice, this barrage using all the time, forcing the MG away. So Allies are able to cap the middle. Yeah, the moment here Refero is laying on Hooligan. It's recurring a little bit of the 70 and every stuff he has, so he can back up and build an army again. And I don't know why and how he does it, but Process is always going away and playing safe, because even now fuel and victory point is in the hand of the Pharaoh's side somehow. But here comes the next push from Cross Rush. Some armies. Actually sent him back. I'm not sure if he spotted the Jägerlight infantry in cover there. I don't think so.
Axis, I think, predictably now with the bigger army just starting to take the map. Everything on the right hand side is pretty uncontested, but if we have a quick look on the left hand side now, Puma might be going in for the T-70, wisely decides not to. Keep the snares, and of course the Zis guns covering that. T-70's got to be so careful. You can see the Volksgrenadiers, they've got nothing to stop them. They're trying to go in for that Faust. A couple of mines there. I think that's going to hold off for the moment. Refero has managed to get the Valentine out. There's so much pressure on Refero right now, really, to get the right-hand side of the map back. Hooligan, for some reason, is really focused on the left-hand side, perhaps to try and draw Axis that way.
Yeah, at the moment, I mean, Process has no AT gun, so if you place the Valentine very well, he can win his 1 versus 1. Just have to look out that the Puma doesn't come to his side. And I really like, and I think almost every team do it right now in the main event. If the OKW player went for mechanized, the Wehrmacht player says, okay, I put your medic bunker in your base, you get 3 heals. So this is always nice team play there. And here again, Refero escaping the right side, because Process is always backing up.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Brosras, I mean, like, he should have stayed on the right-hand side there, at least just held some territory for a while. I mean, I would love to have the resources that would have come from owning so much of the map, but no. And also Refero has just spent some time laying mines down across the field here, so if any light vehicles decide to push in again against that Valentine, they're going to be in trouble. We do have minesweepers though, from both Arthur and Brosras, so hopefully it won't be so effective. Panzer Grenadiers here with the Panzer Shreks upgraded. Didn't quite get the tracking.
Another motor in the same position. Seems like Refero says, okay, this time I can protect it. Let's go for it again. He's trying to bait him in a mine, it was a nice play there, but Process isn't going for it. Here comes the flank from the Volksengineer on the mortar pit, throwing a nade.
Oh, it's nice. One of the mines goes off on the Volksgrenadiers as they retreat. Don't think the Tommies have enough firepower to take that remaining health down. This is good play on the right from Brosras. We'll push the Tommies out of the cover there. There's no Valentine around at the moment. Of course, Brosras knows that's in the center, so it looks like Axis have an opportunity to get triple cap here. Incendiary from the MG42 in the center. Doesn't manage to stop the Brits decapping that center VP, but really good use of the ability just to continue buying them time.
It's still quite funny to see, like, we saw a lot of white of Refero's army, but if you have a look, short look on the stats, Refero is doing very well. Like, he has only a few units, but he has 30 kills and only 12 losses, so I think that's why he's still in the game, because he's trading his fights at the moment very well.
It's very deceiving, isn't it? Because every single one of those units lost has also been a squad wipe. So
Valentine is Panzer versus Shreks, not the best idea there. And the Schwer is already up on Artavik on the left side, protecting the fuel. It's actually aggressive, UTT2.
risky, I like it. Really don't want to be losing that tier 4 building, because not only do you have to rebuild it again, but also upgrade it before you can get your vehicles out. think it'll be too many problems for Artevic, to be honest, in that position. This is good by the predictive Maxim there. Probably knew that there were going to be some units trying to come around on the retreat path. Hooligan's got a real focus on the left-hand side. I'm a bit worried sometimes the way that they spread themselves. They're so far spread across the map, the allied players, that they leave a lot of gaps for Axis to try and exploit. Referro's got to hold his own on the right-hand side now, whilst Hooligan just throws unit after unit at that VP.
Yeah, I'm just watching Refer the moment with his Pioneer Squad, and I think he laid down like already 8 mines around his mortar pits and his fuel point, and it's more mines. It's spending every single mission he has in mines, which actually can do it. Since if you just join, guys, Parameter Overwatch is banned in this cup, so you don't have to save the mission for it. So just use every mission you have in mines.
Looks like we've got tier 4 Brumbear coming in for Brosras. There's a Stuka for Artevic. No surprises, really. This is one of the interesting things with the 2v2 games at the moment. There's really not many surprises that I've seen in the games to do with teching. Fairly consistent from all players. They love the tier 4 for us to... Stuka is absolutely essential from OKW in dealing with some of the support weapons.
Yeah, there's no reason to go T3, only if you have double fuel, and if you're facing good 2 teams you don't have double fuel, so T4 always the safer choice there. Seems pinning the Eagle and Infantry a little bit down, he's trying to crouch into green cover, but can't do it, and we'll see maybe a triple cap for allies. He can do forward. I mean, he has everything he has, and he's 70, Maxim as discount. So the Kuma can't really dive in. More conscripts coming to the flank. And pretty soon, it's not going in with fuel yet, which is good because the forward spotted down.
We're waiting for that first shot from the Stuka at the moment, and a lot of support weapons down here on the VP from Hooligan. First shot has to count. It's firing now. Exactly where that's going to be. Oh, they haven't got enough time to get away from it either. Nearly wipes the engineer as it goes. It's a decent hit on the AT gun as well. Really needed a unit to maybe chase that down. Looks like they'll get away with at least all of the squads.
But also the Fox idea was almost going down. He's running away. One more shot was needed from the conscript, but missed there. And they're also dealing now, so I think Process is helping a little bit too much on the left side, which gives the Pharaoh a lot of time to rebuild all this army. Like, look in the middle, there's a trench with the Rickets in it, infrasection spot, AT gun waiting as well. Typical pit play.
The Pharaoh is just apparently bored at the moment and is just doing some Sin City. I mean, actually, massive credit to Refero because, you know, at the start of the game, losing the entire starting build, the Universal Carrier and the Mortar Pit and the AEC was huge. Cromwell, the Valentine now chasing down one of the Panzer Grenadiers, gonna get the squad wipe. Again, another big investment, this time for Brosras.
Yeah, and I think almost nobody would expect it, but it's looking very well for allies actually. After this terrible start from the Pharaoh, they have anything they need at the moment. G4s are this well for Soviet player. He's just a little bit more manpower and he can get any tank out he wants. And we see the fights that Artevic and Hooligan are fighting way stronger each other. Both have 12 command points, meanwhile Brosras has 7, the Pharaoh has only 8 command points.
It's nice to see a little more aggression in this game, actually, because that's definitely what was missing from the last game. All of the players are actually trying to make those bigger pushes. That's a big hit from the Stuka. Wow. Maxim and the Zis gun go down there. In fact, how many models was that?
Yeah.
I think that was like 12 models just got wiped then. That was huge. It's a great flank from Refero here on the MG42 on the right hand side to keep that out of the center. There's a second one though, which means that
yeah, it's not what we see normally. Like, I think this was the second Stuka barrage, and in 2 Stuka barrage he has already 18 kills, which is crazy. That's damn lot of kills. Process has a Panzerwerfer right now, coming to the middle and shooting, probably on the SimCity, a T-gun and Vickers.
wow, they've been really lucky with the indirect fire at the start of this game. We're normally joking about how useless it is at the start and how the first shots are wildly ineffective, but this time it's been really good. Refero brings out the Sexton artillery. And just waiting for that first shot at the moment.
Oh yeah, the Sexton in Refero's hand. I remember the qualification rounds, the Sexton hits every single shot. And they need it right now, since X is hitting so well with indirect fire. Do the same as the Sexton. That means actually maybe we don't see a Katyusha maybe, because the Sexton is there, so maybe a straight 5 or some other tank attack.
Just have a look here for Axis. They're just doing a bit of scouting at the moment just to see. They will spot the Sexton artillery there, no doubt.
You see Recon plane coming in from Prostros, is spot around. Brombear hitting the T-gun, misses but triggers the mine.
Stuka firing in on the left hand side right now, again going for those support weapons. Oh, it's really lucky to get some of the Zis gun and the Maxim again. Stuka now after that shot is 23 kills. We do have an LEFH artillery piece here for Artovic. He's just so many artillery pieces in the game right now. It cleared the trench in the center. Now dealing with the AT guns, the Sexton artillery is trying to fire back. One shot straight away lands on top of it. That is a really, really good LEFH for the first hit. 7 kills straight away. 8 now.
And another wipe comes from the Panzerwerfer in. Like, the RNG is on X's side on the indirect fire. It's on point. Every single barrage is dealing damage or wise. It's really sadly for the allies.
You know, I never like to call things like RNG in a competitive game like this, but actually in this game, it really shows actually that they have been lucky. Obviously they're lining up the shots correctly, but to get the kind of hits they have, they've been lucky.
Yeah, if I remember back in the qualification rounds, one Stuka has 3 barrages with 7 or 1 kill only. And here it goes and goes forward. Since there's no Centaur there, I could think that Process will spend more often the Recon to spot for Artovic with RT and stuff. Also we have the Sector Assault ready for Artovic. There's 6 hits apiece already, which is crazy. No other 60 points there. Bomber shooting the left side, and we're almost cleaning out the Maxine. Never mind.
He was using the bunker busting barrage there to fire off some quicker shells onto the Maxim. It actually wipes the unit as well. Let's have a look for this Stuka strike in the center. I'm not sure where that was going. Looks like maybe trying to hit the Sexton. It does.
Well, time to repair the Sexton, so it doesn't die in the next shot. And LFR probably shooting now in the mortar pit. On a Sexton, I'm not sure yet where it should land.
IL-2, by the way, coming in here to stop the Volksgrenadiers from flanking down in the south. I think actually Hooligan's going to use this opportunity to push those infantry away and make another push down on that left-hand side. Refero, by the way, is doing a great job of holding the right and the center at the moment. He's got to constantly move his units around because this LEFH is just dropping continuous artillery down on him.
And we have the tank now for the allies. It's the KV-1 coming in for Hooligan to stop some pushes if there would be. The thing is, because Hooligan didn't went for Garde E, so they have no I2 bombing strike to drop out the RT. So you can see maybe a veterancy out in the LFH. Game goes long and Bombe doing nice shots in the middle.
These planes, they're just constantly harassing the map for infantry. We've got another shot from the Stuka here. It's again a really, really good hit. It was fired in a way that kind of predicted the retreat path. Sexton Artillery is trying to fire just north of the VP there. The Pumas come in.
Actually,
It's it's nice and aggressive from Artivik there to just dive in with the Puma to just push the Sexton back, stop it from firing.
Indeed, yeah. So the Sexton is again on cooldown because he just was starting to fire. So the cooldown is on and it's still 0 kills for the Sexton so far.
LFH, by the way, veteran C1 now, and I mean, we don't often see it, but counter barrage, if it were used, would very, very accurately counter this mortar pit now and the Sexton. In fact, the shells on counter barrage are far more accurate than the normal fire, so not that we're going to see it. The opportunity is there.
So Rafaro was shooting again, but this time
Rafaro doing here. Rafaro, I think, is going the distance here, looking for the Panzerwerfer and perhaps the Stuka. He spots it. Line of sight, breaks the shot. Now the Puma's trying to get rid of the Valentine. Coordinated barrage is called down on the LEFH, and we're going to see the British base artillery. Those howitzers now pummeling the LEFH here. And there we go, destroy the LEFH in a few shells.
Yeah, it was a nice play. I think it was definitely worth it to trade the Valentine versus the RT, since the sword player can't counter it. But the last munition they have, spent everything he had. Meanwhile, Artivik has 400 munition, so he can spam actually almost 2 planes of that. Panther is now in the field as well, facing KV-8 and Sysgun. Just connected. Firefly is trying to help, but has fall back. Probably actually do some damage with Firefly. But still, victory points are very strong for allies. They have 300 victory points, Axis down to 180, and still the cap is for allies. Very well.
On the right hand side. Okay, another Valentine. Just gone over to defend the right hand side from the infantry trying to cap their veteran C2. Now armor skirts on the Brimbear. We're seeing another Stuka come in. These have been so good in the game so far. This time on top of the mortar pit, but that's been very well repaired there. They've been really good actually at picking the moments to repair the mortar pit during this game. It has been low health. They've not incurred any kind of counter indirect fire.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the Sexton is shooting right now. It's probably was trying to hit the Stuka or something, but still 0 kills sadly. And T70 goes down to the left side thanks to the Panther and Puma. Nice pick up there for Axis.
I have a feeling, you know, that Hooligan and Rafaro, they just want to drain the VPs down. I think they probably need to just take a little step back right now and not push so aggressively. They're feeding a lot of veterancy to the Axis right now. They're just popping shots off at this KV-1. That's giving veterancy to the Puma and the Panther really easily. An IL-2 strike now coming in along with the Katusha. It should force a lot of the Axis units back.
Yes, despite 40 minutes, 0 HP left. Like it survived so far. She's trying to kill down a plane. It's possible, but it takes a while. It's turning around.
I can hear that it's hitting them, so...
Not let up. The enemy still has
Brumbert, there's an SU-85 now on the field. And 2 penetrating shots from that bring it just below half health. That's nice. Panzer for now. I think trying to counter some of the AT positions. Firing it at max range, so hopefully not expecting too much there. The Stuka shot next. Always on top of that mortar pit. Oh, this is really good hits from the Zis gun there. And actually the conscripts just forcing the Panther away with an Ura. This allows the KV-1 to deal with some of the infantry on the left VP.
Yeah, and I like what Rufero is doing on the right side. That's what I said last time to Altovic. Just put a Vickers on right victory point, put a trench in it, and you have it. Because Process was never really attacking the right side again. Like in the last game, Hooligan was always constantly attacking right side victory point to make pressure on it, but Process is only focusing in the middle. He's completely avoiding the right side,
anti-tank gun finished.
which helps the allies.
Oh, got a Stuka bomb. Coming in where?
The Katyusha
Sure, what
probably.
the point of that was looked like either on the Su-85 or perhaps a Katyusha. KV-1 in a lot of trouble right now. The Puma, by the way, Vet 5 has been penetrating very consistently. It's got good sight from the light infantry, but it pings the final shot. It could be death for the Puma, though. It is. Great support from the Firefly and the Su-85. Puma pays the price for that. Now Sector Assault from Artovic is coming in. I think he's looking for the planes to try and finish off here. But actually they're targeting the Firefly and the Su-85 very well, I might add. Stuka as well coming in. You can see it in the distance. Maybe just trying to catch it on the retreat. It's not enough.
It was a little bit unlucky for the Puma. I mean, a Vet 5 should penetrate very often, but the KV-1 has such a big armor. And I'm not sure if we should trade a 1 KV-1 with Vet 5, because it was very greedy from Artovic to do that. But I mean, he has a lot of resources. He can just build new stuff. 800 manpower, 700 manpower for Axis. The Elephant is now on the field. Also, a new LFH is built. And Axis managed to get 2 victory points and turn the game around into their lead.
The Elephant's a difficult one right now. Hooligan does have the Su-85 out. Hasn't been gaining any veterancy, actually. I hope that it might be during the time that it's been uncontested. But obviously there are some forms of counter to the Elephant out. On the right hand side we just saw the Brumbar there coming in to deal with the trench and the Vickers. Refero's got to make his way back up there. There's a lot of munitions for Refero. Obviously he can't use perimeter overwatch at the moment because it's banned. But he is able to use coordinated barrage, and we are seeing that from him.
Katyusha doing some shots in the middle, doing some good damage there, forcing them away. A lot of artillery shooting right now all the time. H shooting, Katyusha's shooting. Where the arty comes as well from concentration barrage in the middle round. Elephant wants to go forward, but he can't at the moment. He has no infantry to help and support it.
Yeah, Valentine here might get a sneaky shot in the rear armor of the Panther. Yes, it does. Small penetration, but it all counts.
It's just as strong. The Vickers in the middle in the trench, because of the one ability from the Vickers, it has way more range and line of sight than a normal MG. Because trenches count as a building. You can see it completely covers everything in the middle one. Panzerwerfer coming in, probably to deal with these Vickers.
I really like what Brosras has been doing with the Brumbar, actually. But Refero has actually countered it really well this time. He's brought the 6-pounder AT gun up. And you just see here that Brosras is having to use the bunker buster ability to deal with the AT gun at range. Again, well executed. Like, he's using the Brumbar really, really well here. Actually destroys the AT gun as well. So Rafero, of course, going to need to actually replace that fully. And we just don't have the Firefly up there. We need the Valentine and the Firefly on the right-hand side. We don't see it. Looks like the Elephant now getting some really good shots on the KV-1. Some recon has come in from Brosras from his Jaeger armor commander.
Yeah, Jaeger Light Infantry hits the mine in the KV-8, but the Elephant could actually going for it. He goes hand in entry level KV-1. He needs 2 shots, I think, to kill the KV-1. See if he's able to do this. Doesn't have line of sight, seems like they're oh, there's only 1 hit only. Nice pick up there.
Yeah, good play. Of course, the Elephant just overextended, but there wasn't really anything to take advantage of that because Rafero is on the right-hand side of the map. Now we're seeing another IL-2 Loiter come in just to keep the infantry off of these VPs. You can see the Axis now are actually really putting a lot of focus on the VPs because they're about 120 behind.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Alice is still so strong in this game. Even after all the auto wipes from Panzerwerfer and Stuka, they're doing very well. The control.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know it. The indirect fire here has been so good. 20 kills on the Panzerwerfer, 31 kills on the Stuka. I mean, this is the second LEFH, but we know the first one already racked up about 15 kills.
We have double Panther on the artillery side to support the Elephant, so there's a moment no chance at all that Alex can dive this Elephant. They have only 1 Firefly, 1 Valentine, 1 35. Hard to deal with it. Good choice here from Hooligan to go in 5 to upgrade it versus the anti-air package. This is the sector assault to counter it.
Well, we saw this in the last game where it kind of came to a standoff position and neither team really moved for a while whilst they just tried to suss each other out. Another indirect fire Panzerwerfer, once again wiping the crew and destroying the AT gun, constantly forcing Rafero to spend his resources. We're also seeing the victory points being booby-trapped by the Jaeger Light Infantry. Just making it that little bit harder for Rafero on the left-hand side. I'm really sure that the Allies are just going to need to hug 2 VPs for a while, and if they actually do continue to be spread out like this, Hooligan on the left, Rafero on the right, the Axis are just going to charge up through the center, and it's going to be really hard for them to join each other and play with each other from like a pincer movement. You just saw the Vickers in the center get wiped there, and again, the Vickers itself goes down. So Rafero just needs to spend.
Yeah, they really need to repair all the weapon teams because so many losses completely with not only crew, completely destroyed. It's pain in the ass. And I just looked on the Jaeger Light Infantry squad. Both of them deal very well. One has 29 kills, the other one has 33 kills. It's a lot of kills in 2 units.
Well, I mean, we know that the Allies do have the ability to get their own wipes as well. We've got the coordinated barrage available from Rafero. And Hooligan's been great with his 2 Loiters. The Panzerwerfer firing at Katusha, sorry, trying to defend the center VP from Axis pushing through the center. Sexton artillery seems to be trying to go for the Axis mortar.
Brumbar coming in, trying to find some shots. And yeah, it's a big deal now in the middle. Brumbar and Elephant are to deal with.
But you look at this, I mean, Rafero's Firefly is on the right-hand side. I mean, there's only 1 Panther that isn't even being aggressive. The Firefly is desperately needed in the center right now. Hooligan looks like he's struggling. The Panther starts to move in. I think it's looking for targets. You also hear Ju-87 dive bomb.
Yeah, but
Su-85.
if players breaking for it, you just walk away or drive away with your 60, you're fine. But yeah, it's time for allies. Elephant gets a nice shot on the mortar kit.
Forces are attempting to capture
Now comes the
hostility.
5 finally in the middle to join the party. That's, yeah. Another 35 is in production. The LFA shit. Almost wiping G there.
The mortar pit nearly went down to a Panzerwerfer barrage. This is a really good Panzerwerfer barrage as well. Really good idea. He knows that the sappers were there repairing at that moment. A lot of indirect fire coming in now. Coordinated barrage above the central VP. The Firefly just has to be so careful. Again, another Panzerwerfer. Cannot lose their anti-tank vehicles at the moment.
As Tiger is roaring in on their T-gun. It's a little too late. Another shoot rush coming in, and allies have no chance. I mean, they're always trying to dodge and do something, but the Axis are so strong in the middle with every unit they have. And Artwick has still the skill plates around if you want to spend it.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait for that, I'm sure. I mean, they've got the resources to use it a couple of times. Artwick has a ton of resources. Brosras above 1,000 manpower at the moment, but of course both of them are pop capped. Can't really spend. But this is what I was talking about, you know, like actually they've got a seriously good army on the field. They're just not prepared to push with it. They're giving the allies loads of time. I'm just trying to wear them down slowly.
Yeah, and Alice did very well in the early mid game, but now we're in the late game, and from the army composition, they have no dive ability. There's no combat, no small tanks from the Soviets to flank around, and 35's frontal with Elephant is not a good idea. So we're shooting again. Let's get Katyusha counter firing.
Of course, Panther as well. Like when you look at Brosras, veteran C2 on the scout car with the spotting scope, and when that comes back in, we'll just show the kind of range that it gives. It's going to make things like sector assault lethal.
I'm just seeing what else can do, but they're almost also pop cap and have no manpower. They need something to do and get lucky, like hope that Elephant is going greedy. Elephant gets a nice shot on a Firefly, but 2 T-guns respawns immediately. Also Brombear wet 3 with 41 kills.
This is not a great position to be in. They're just kind of having to move back further and further. The LEFH you can see there, I think just randomly shelling that area of the map. Of course, actually, you know, shelling that area of the map is really useful because when Axis do want to rush all their infantry up, especially the Jaegerite infantry, they will, you know, they will be able to cloak in the medium cover. So,
on the right side, the Pioneer from Process spotted the Engineer Vickers, has to retreat, and I'm pretty sure that Process will very soon use this bomb on the right side to clear out the Vickers again. To make the right side open.
alright, well, it looks like we're going to see something happening. The Su-85s roll up. There's a bit of a bait there, I think, from a T-34-76. Baits one of the Panthers in so the Su-85s can get some shots off. Here's the loitering strafe run from Hooligan. Looks like he's going to make an attempt on the left-hand VP. And on the right, we have that Brumba once again. Just true to the name, bunker bustering. Oh no! I think a plane just killed a squad.
It was. I saw it as well, yeah.
We'll pretend we didn't see that. But Fireflies, the Tulips here go on to stun the Elephant. The Su-85s now being able to penetrate the Elephant there. It's also the T-34-76 trying to get around the back, but it's well blocked by the Panther. Allies have a bit of a chance to come back here, to be honest. Sector Assault is called in to try and deal with the vehicles. A ram from the T-34. It just misses the Panther. Let's just have a look at the vehicles here. I think actually Allied vehicles do need to be careful of these planes, but they're taken down very quickly. The planes continue to crash into the Axis base.
Yeah, so many plane crashes. Also, a plane crashed into the Elephant and did some small damage there. This was a nice push from the Allies. I think almost dead and the Panzerwerfer died. That's what they needed, and that's the time right now to say for Allies, okay, get the victory points under control and get it before the Elephant gets repelled. Hunter gets net on the right side. It's a time now for Valentine and Firefly to actually kill the Panther. The Panther is completely out of position.
It was really good timing, actually. Just waited for one shot and delivered the AT grenade immediately. Artivik and Brosras, wow, I mean, like, all of their army has just started to disintegrate. Artivik really has very little at the moment. It's a triple cap for the Allies as well. So 0.75 VPs per second draining at the moment for Axis. They've got to get on top of it. There's no presence in the center, no presence on the right.
Down to 75 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. Axis have now really struggling because they have to push forward. I mean, if both of them have 1,000 manpower. Meanwhile, Allies have only 100, 300 scrubbing around, but looking well for the Allies right now. 3 on the left side to help the left fights. This could be actually Allies going forward if Axis can't push fast enough to the victory point again. 50 points remaining. They are shooting.
I really don't know how this happened. That engagement was just, it was well orchestrated by Allies, and finally, you know, they managed to get RNG on their side. But the turnaround is huge. Hooligan now has got another IL-2 loiter to try and push infantry off of the center. The Elephant, very strong in the middle there, is forcing away the Su-85s. Panther to deal with the T-34 on the left. Axis are going to get control of the center VP, which is so important to them right now as they drop below 50 VPs. Did I just hear that correctly? King Tiger is on the field. Artivik is going to be bringing in some seriously heavy armor now to close this series. And if they can bring that to the front with a bit of support from the Panthers and the Elephant there, they're going to start closing the door on the Allies.
But they need to get the victory points. They need 2, not only 1. Finish it off. Sexton shooting in the middle, missing, so Symphony was able to capture the middle victory point, and we have it now again, that Axis have 2 victory points under control. And so for shooting in, trying to do some damage. If I would be Allies right now, I would say, okay, shit on middle victory point where the King Tiger and Elephant's probably sitting, and try to get the left victory point under control on the right side. Nice super dive bomb.
That was so suave from Artivik there. I mean, that's a fair use of resources right now to get around that trench.
Yeah, nice play there. I mean, the trench is gone, the Lucas is gone, so actually triple cap for Axis now. Constant on the left side, trying to cap the left victory point. Facing a Panther with 5 Jaeger infantry squads, 42 kills. He's sprinting into the victory point.
I don't actually think, I mean, have they seen the King Tiger yet? Do they know about it in the center? I don't think it's actually engaged anything so far. He's just sitting there. I'm pretty sure that Refer is going to see it in a second as these Tommies push into enemy territory. There we go. Coordinated barrage has just gone on there for the King Tiger. I think they've got to make some kind of move. There's a Cromwell from Refero that's now going around the back, I assume, to look for the Panzerwerfer and the Stuka. And let's just watch how this one goes. Cromwell, Panzerwerfer down. Got to get another shot on for that Stuka. I think he may be just missing where it is. Hasn't turned in time. It's a good move, but missed an opportunity there to get both down. Su-85 is going to come in with the support of the Zis gun. It's a rear armor shot on the Brumbear. Now is the time. I think now is absolutely the time. The King Tiger has been revealed.
Nice blueprints coming in the left side. Sector assault versus the Soviet player doing a lot of damage there. Also booby trapped the left victory points. It's good. It's about to get enough. Two pioneers coming in from Soviets. They really know they have to go right now on the victory points. Panther coming in for tier 4. Needs to make more shots.
The Su-85, by the way, out of control, was able to turn and fire then on the Panther. Somehow it manages to assist from the Zis gun. And the Panther goes down. That was really, really fortunate. I mean, there's a lot of RNG in this game has really changed the course of action multiple times. Allies fall to 30 VPs. And they're going to go for the victory point on the left. You can see the Axis, they're just running all the infantry forces they have over there. Hooligan doesn't have an IL-2 available.
This is now all fight. Normally you fight in the middle and a crucial fight in the last 5 seconds, but this time it will be all about the left side. Katyusha coming in to support the allies. And doing their job.
Yep, just paying attention in the center, by the way, because the Valentine is there trying to get rear armor shots on the Elephant. The King Tiger there just getting pushed back through to an AT grenade and some great tulips. And allies, they've managed to get 2 VPs. They were trying to get the one in the center. And I think actually it's possible the sappers may be able to get rid of them. A little help from the Katyusha is going to finish it. Allies, I think, are going to get a triple cap here. I don't know what's happening, Stern Panther. The game is going back and forwards. Like the pendulum on a grandfather clock. It is crazy. The right-hand side VP, Refero, has managed to defend it. This is really insane. Axis dropped below 20 VPs now. I don't think there's enough time for them to cap what they need to. I think allies, Refero and Hooligan may have just made this an ace game.
Yeah, that's crazy. This was so bad. Like, allies were always on down point of the manpower. Meanwhile, Axis had 1000 manpower, but we're going for this. 6 points left and it's not enough. Not enough.
Wow, okay, well, did not think that was going to happen, but we are going to go into an ace game in this series. It is now 1-1 between Refero, Hooligan, Artivik and Brosras. GG.